thing.
My dad and I kiss on the cheek, but my mother wants me to kiss her on the lips, and I won't.
Well, how does she make you know that she wants you to kiss her on the lips?
Well, a couple of years ago it became an issue. I don't recall ever kissing her on her lips, but maybe I did.
As a little boy?
Maybe. I don't know. But at one point I remember I went, I turned my head, and she goes, well, why are you turning your head? I go, I'm kissing you. Oh, on the cheek. Remember it became a whole big thing. She was like kind of insulted that I kissed her on her cheek. I'm not kissing her on her lips.
You're getting more than you
What, you think it would turn you on?
No, it's just I'm not really interested in that.
What's the big deal?
I don't know. I'm not interested in kissing my mom on the lips.
I don't think that you're supposed to be interested so much.
To me, kissing on the lips is sexual.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's not supposed to go through your head.
Yeah, but there's something weird about, going to see a mother and kissing her on the lips.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with like face.
Yeah.
Especially with those skins.
You're a sicko, Jack.
Well, you got big ones.
At least I almost didn't say it.
Right.
You're sick.
Mother. Mother. My mom's got big D cups.
Let's kiss goodbye.
Might be wrong.
Come here, Mother.
I don't want to kiss my mom on her lips. So it became like I used to
lead to other things.
Yeah. It's not even. It's just too weird. Do you kiss your parents?
Who? What?
I didn't think you talked to your parents. Fred, do you kiss your parents?
Yeah.
Do you kiss your father?
On certain occasions. Like,
on the cheek?
Yeah. But
you
not
do?
on the lips.
Like what kind of occasion would make the Norris men kiss?
Yeah, if there was like at a wedding or something like that.
Martian New Year.
What?
If it was like, at the wedding and stuff like you'd kiss him on the cheek or some kind of momentous occasion.
Oh, so he just did it.
Yeah.
What about your mom? Did you kiss her on the lips?
Cheek.
Really?
Never kiss her on the lips.
Because I think Fred's in love with his mother.
Yeah, I think Fred does have sexual
Yeah, I think he does. Because he won't even look at his mother's chest.
Yeah, remember that whole conversation?
That was weird.
Fred got really angry.
Remember when you got upset? I said to you, Fred, does your mother have a big chest? And you said, I don't know, I've never seen it. I go, no, I don't mean naked. I mean, like, on her clothes. Does she have a big breast? And you went, I don't know, I've never looked.
I never paid attention to it.
You have no idea if your mother's chest is big or small.
It's probably average.
But you don't know.
But you don't know for sure, because you told me you never looked.
Well, I'll make a note of it next time.
You still haven't looked.
You know he's looked, but he didn't want to say he looked.
Carry pictures around with me in my pocket.
He was so embarrassed to say that he looked at his mother's chest.
I just found it an odd question.
Why?
Why? It's like saying, is your mother tall?
No, it's quite different. That's much different.
How is that different?
I don't think so.
It's very different. I mean, you notice someone's height. You don't necessarily start looking, hey, let me check out her cans.
Oh, come on, Fred. You had, when you were growing up.
You mean to tell me
my mom was wearing panties?
I mean, but wait, let's be honest now. Let's remove all the veneer.
Let's take all the veneer off.
You know you've looked at your mother's chest.
Recently, probably.
All right, but you're saying up until a year ago you never saw your mother's chest?
I never really dwelled on it.
I don't even dwell on it. You never said, my mother has big breasts.
Why couldn't you look at your mother's chest?
I probably looked at it and probably just checked in and checked out. Didn't.
No, don't you think it's odd that you can't look at your mother's chest?
No, I don't. I find it odd that someone would, like, obsess on their mother's chest.
No, I mean, my mother has big breasts.
You obsess on it.
No, he's not obsessed.
Yeah, right.
Why is that obsessed?
Look at my mother's big cans. Ooh, check them out.
When does he say that?
How many times have I said that?
Oh,
a lot.
But you don't think it's stranger to...
Not know?
When someone says, hey, Fred, is your mother a big cup? And you go... I don't know. I've never seen my mother's chest. I go, not naked, through her clothes. No, I've never looked at my mother.
I never paid attention to it. I really didn't.
And there's no way. You're so observant. There's no
Howard,
way.
let me put it to you this way.
Is it against all Martian conduct to look at your mother's chest?
It must be.
When you were growing up,
what?
you had to, you look for examples.
Well, how could she avoid talking to you?
I'm talking to Howard.
It's okay. In this instance, you can talk to him.
You're talking to me. It's too late.
This is too weird.
When you were growing up, you have to look at examples of things. Like when you're finally interested in something, you start to look around. You look at your mother's chest to see what it looks like.
But you look at everything on it, people. My mother's got a big fat ass with a big chest.
Yeah,
I looked at other people's chests. It just never occurred to me.
So you can't answer the question, does your mother have a big chest?
I'd say she has an average chest.
Because you looked when? When did you look?
I can't give you an exact.
Like within a year?
I'd say within the past year, sure.
Was it as a result of our conversation on the air?
Probably.
So you decided to look at your mother's chest for the first time?
Yes.
And how did you feel?
And I felt no stirrings or anything like that in my loins.
But don't you think that maybe you were feeling something sexual toward your mother, that the fact that you couldn't look at her chest?
Probably not.
What?
probably.
Probably not.
So there's a chance that you were feeling sexually.
No, I was not feeling sex.
You said probably not.
Why would you say probably?
Because there's a chance that you were feeling sex.
You never know, Robin.
He was in love with his mother. There's no question.
When he had that reaction, Howard, when you first asked him about his mother's chest, I thought it was the most bizarre reaction.
I know. I mean, I never heard it. In fact, I blocked that out.
I think it's more bizarre to make your mother get out of a car and walk. No, that I think is much more bizarre.
Did Robin do that?
Yes.
When?
Come on, you dropped your mother off by the side of the road.
I never did that.
Oh, yes, you did.
Oh, here he goes, making up history.
Put it in your book anyway.
I never dropped her off at the side. I carried her in.
Did you ever look at your friends' mom's chests?
That's a yes.
No, he's thinking. Give him a chance.
I am thinking.
I mean, here's a guy who analyzes supermodels. He looks at bodies.
The only mother I ever checked out was this guy when I was like about 14 years old. His mother, he was 15, I was 15. His mother was like 27, and she was awesome.
What? That was a stepmother, wasn't it?
No, that was his mother. She had him like when she was like 13 or 14. And everybody at the party was like,
none of Fred's friends had teeth.
That's your mom? No, she was gorgeous. She was
mother was 13.
You know where Fred grew up. I found him in the backwoods.
Bug tussle.
Yeah, bug tussle.
Oh.
Did she own shoes? This woman?
That was his mother and his cousin.
She was the only mother I saw dressed like that. It was totally incongruous to everything around you. She was dressed in Fredericks of Hollywood outfits. I mean, it was...
All right, so Fred, I'm going to now say something. I'm going to make a proposal to you, and you tell me if you want to be totally honest.
I'll do my
I'm going to say that, yes, indeed, throughout your childhood and growing up in your house, you did see your mother's chest. Not naked, but you did look at it through the clothes.
Sure I did.
And I believe that you were too embarrassed to say that you looked at your mother's chest.
I probably was.
Which shows you are very sexually repressed.
That's right.
Because you look at breasts like they are...
Even your mother's breast, you look at as sexual.
All right.
I would agree with that.
I think you could have answered the question.
I will agree with you that I was sexually repressed, and that's as far as I can go. I can't say that I was turned on, because if you're repressing, you can't...
All right,
but what are you repressing?
Sexual feeling for your mother.
Any sexual feeling.
Oh.
Any and all sexual feeling.
But you're saying you had sexual feelings for your mother then.
No, I did not.
All right, let's take a vote. Who feels Fred has... All right, Robin, you go first. Who do you vote yes?
He had sexual feelings for his mother.
Billy?
Wrong.
Could be, yeah.
Jackie?
My mic must be off. I didn't hear what you said. No, I think maybe it was a little weird. You know what? I know the answer to this whole thing.
What is it?
I think if your mother has great big chests, you notice.
Yeah, you can.
And if she doesn't, it's something you don't know.
Oh, you notice your mother's... Oh, okay. All right. I'm always sorry if they put on his microphone.
No, because I'm right, and you can't handle it.
Oh,
you have never been right.
You can't handle it.
Not right. You can't handle it.
Handle the truth.
I have the answer.
Yeah, and it's always a wacky answer. It's an answer. It's a whacked out answer. I got the answer. And then you go, oh, good. You know, Jackie's an intelligent guy. I went to MIT or something. I don't know. And then you go, hey, here's the answer. When your mother has really big cans, you look.
It turns out that E equals MC squared.
Yeah. This is psychologist.
No, I'm right. Handle the truth.
Freud.
All right, I got to get out of here. How many years left on my contract?
No, I'm right.
I got to get out of this room.
Let me explain.
If your mother has big chests, you look at them. If she doesn't, you don't.
All right, you want to explain? Go ahead.
Robin doesn't even know which your parent is.
I got to take a break. No time for you to explain. We'll be back right after these words. There's a movie on pay-per-view this week called Pelican Brief. I don't know how many people saw it in the theater, but it's the Julia Roberts.
In the theater, but
Did it?
There's still some people who haven't seen it.
I read the book. I haven't seen the movie, but I read the book.
Oh, then you should watch the movie.
Book was really good. I have to brag when I've read the book to somebody. There's only like 5 books now that I've read. But I'm like, yeah, I read the book. And they always go, oh, did you read the other Grisham novels? No. I just Pelican Brief.
I refuse to read them. Everybody else has.
They're really good, actually. The guy's a really good writer. And it's like written for idiots, so you can really follow everything.
Oh, because it's all this technical stuff usually about spies and junk.
The movies come out real technical, but... No, it's not.
Yeah?
Is Grisham the guy I'm thinking of? Was that the guy who wrote Pelican Brief?
Absolutely. And the firm.
And the client.
Yeah.
And all that.
It's really good. It's a really good book. The Pelican Brief stars, of course, Julia Roberts. It isn't too bad to look at. I have to take a look at that. And then the black guy. Isn't that too? See the the black guy.
The black guy.
That's it. It's only 2 guys at a time.
Yeah, but you can't say the black guy if there's 2 of them.
All right. Black guy A if Wesley is B. Okay? Are you happy?
Well, I need to know who you're talking about.
So black guy A is in it. Julia Roberts. It's really good. The Pelican Brief. I mean, I haven't seen it, but the book was great, so how could it be bad? Pay-per-view. Easiest way to see latest Hollywood hits right in your own home.
Oh, it is. Absolutely. I love it.
And you can tape it, too, I guess, so you have your own copy.
I had never seen RoboCop 3.
Is it good?
It turned out to be good.
Really?
Yeah, I was very disappointed in 2, so I didn't go to see 3 when it was in the theaters.
And 3 got horrible reviews,
and then
so I never saw it.
Decided it was on pay-per-view while we were on vacation, so I made the phone call and watched it.
You got a copy of it?
Mm-hmm.
Can I have it?
Sure.
At least you're not like, hey, I paid for it. Why shouldn't you?
No, I share with you. If it was Fred now.
Right. No, I don't blame you. I won't give it to Fred, I promise.
I'll order it myself.
See you tonight at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Check your local cable listings on the West Coast. See you Thursday night at 9 p.m. Pacific Time. Call your cable system or check your cable guide for ordering details. Pelican Brief. I said we were going to get out at 10 o'clock.
Well, that's not possible.
Yeah, I know. But listen to that. I got a fax. Howard, my mom walks around the house completely naked all the time. We share a rented house. I'm 29 years old. It is so natural to me. I don't even notice.
Sure.
She hasn't seen me nude in 24 years. Imagine your mom running around naked.
Why won't he show his mother his nakedness since it's so natural and easy to do and has no sexual content?
I was thinking during the commercials, I just said, for Fred to say that he didn't notice his mother's breasts or didn't look at them or never noticed if she had a big chest or a little chest, is like saying, I don't know if my dad has hair or not on his head. I mean, not that you would look in his sexual. You see, everyone thinks...
But did he ever see her in clothing? Did he notice she was wearing things?
Of course. How could you not notice her blouse? It's absolutely absurd. Fred, in fact, did notice his mother's chest.
Of course he did.
Probably obsessed on it, and because he obsessed on it, can't even admit to this day that he noticed his mother's chest.
I've taken a shower with her since, so it's okay.
No, you haven't.
I feel that he was aroused every time he looked at his mother's chest.
Right.
And he had to suppress that feeling.
Yeah. Does your mom have a big chest, Robin?
Yes.
I'm supposed to say, no, I didn't look at it.
Oh.
Baloney. How could you not?
Is it soft?
I don't know. I didn't touch
right.
it.
Sure.
I didn't go that far.
Is her dad hung? That's what I want to know.
I'll tell you, my mom I saw my mom's, chest naked.
Uh-huh.
God, it was huge.
Where did you see that?
She stepped out of the shower one time. Her areolas were gigantic.
Now, what do you think Fred would have done?
Oh, Fred would have jumped out a window.
Absolutely.
But I remember, some of my mom's friends had really big cans.
Yeah.
And so I used to have crushes on my mom's friends.
Really?
Yeah. I had a big crush on Estelle Sickles.
And you're willing to say that?
Sure, why not? When I was growing up, she...
Do you still see Estelle?
Well, I haven't seen her recently, but I see her daughter Margie once in a while. Lives in Philadelphia. But I remember going over there every once in a while, or she'd come over to the house to visit my mom. And she's like this really super intelligent woman, does the New York Times crossword puzzle and everything. And her and my father used to have all these intellectual discussions.
Yeah.
That my mom didn't know what they were talking about. Because my father's much smarter than my mother. And, it's just a fact.
How come they can't have different kinds of intelligence?
Yeah, my mom's good.
Interests?
My mom's smart about women's stuff, like about shopping and junk like that. My mother puts my father down for knowing what's in the paper. She goes, it's unnecessary information. No,
That's
it's just that she can't get it.
Can't grasp.
Right. And Estelle was a substitute teacher, really smart, but she had a really good body.
She was your father's smarter than your mother.
She is.
Simply based on the fact that she doesn't have the same interests.
Oh, please. My father's very, very bright. You could ask my mother; she'll tell you. My mom.
Mean your mother couldn't do that stuff if she wanted.
My dad built our first television set. My mom picks out broccoli at the supermarket.
All right, you can't build a television set. Are you unintelligent?
Yes. I am. I'm not a bright guy. I don't propose to be one.
All right. At least you use the same measure.
Yep. My father's a lot smarter than I am.
Okay.
So, I got my mom's genetics. I'm as dumb as my mother.
You're good at woman stuff.
And I got big cans.
You're good at woman stuff?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
You should see me pick out a cantaloupe. I can tell just when it's ripe. You can just feel the top of it, and it feels very mushy.
Yeah, you smell it, and you press that little thing in the top.
Yeah, the navel. But, like, I remember Estelle would come over the house, and not that she was trying to be sexy or anything, but she had, like, I thought she had a really nice body, and then she had really big breasts, and she wore, like, V-neck shirts and stuff.
Ooh.
Plunging neckline?
Yeah, but, you know, she had a nice bosom. I would have loved to play topless Scrabble with her, but I didn't dare ask. But I think my father was even attracted to her.
That's why he was having those discussions.
Yeah, I always thought my dad was attracted to her, too.
Well, you can be attracted to someone. You don't have to act on it.
Yeah, well, I don't think he ever acted on it. Because Herman Sickles would have kicked his ass.
Because he wasn't smart. He was a brute.
Yeah. But, I don't know. He wouldn't have acted on... I mean, he doesn't even act on my mother. So I don't think he'd act on Estelle Sickles. But she was, like, really kind of sexy, I thought, and, you know, very intelligent. And she'd walk around and stuff. I would look at her in a sexual way. I would, as a kid. And, I don't know, but my dad was always rapping to her and stuff. I thought maybe he was kind of...
He was making us move.
Yeah. I should call my father and ask him if he was attracted to her.
Well, you could tell.
What?
You could tell.
You mean I could tell if he was attracted?
Yeah.
Look at his pants.
Did you do that?
Yeah. I thought the two of them would have made a good couple.
Yeah.
Intellectually, yeah.
But then there'd be no you.
Boy, what a loss. Yeah. Oh, gee, the world would suffer. But I don't know. There's a couple other hot friends my mother had. You know, not hot, super hot. Like, they weren't models or anything, but...
But a couple who just...
Yeah, for moms, they looked...
Think, huh?
Yeah, they looked okay. They didn't look half bad.
But you never got that way about your mother.
Yes, I did. Of course not. You crazy?
Of course not.
I would be really
like
concerned.
It's not possible.
I would check myself into a mental hospital if I felt that way about my mother.
There's this movie out now called Spanking the Monkey.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You have not.
Yeah, go ahead.
You made it.
You're Spanking the Monkey. It's about Gary, isn't it?
And it's it's about a guy who winds up taking care of his mother over summer vacation after she breaks her leg.
Yeah.
And she's got this huge cast on, and she's confined to bed. And he has to carry her into the shower and carry her into the bathroom. And it's all about how there's this sexual tension that develops between the two of them.
Between
the son and the mother.
Oh. Have to get that. That's a real nice movie. That's an important film. Who made that one? Roman Polanski?
One of the best lines in the movie, this guy, all of his friends come to his window to pick him up. So his friend shows up at the window of the bathroom one day and starts calling his name, and he sees him slumped over in one corner and the mother slumped over in the other, and he says, "Hey, man, what are you doing?" He says, "I'm choking my mother." He says, "Well, then you better come out with me."
Is that on pay-per-view?
No, it's in the movies right now.
Feel-good movies.
So, you know, I used to look at the neighborhood moms.
Yeah.
Check them out. I'm trying to think what other...
But you would compare your mother. You would look at her body and say, "Oh, what kind of body does Mom have?"
Yeah, my mom doesn't have a real good body. I mean, she's got big breasts, but she kind of has, like, the, you know, big ass.
Now, what kind of ass does your mother have?
Wide hips.
Nice ass, actually.
No, the ass he always looked at.
Of course. I have her ass.
Do you?
Yes, I do. It was one of the things she...
I mean, my mom, you know, had an okay body. Believe me, my father's no knight in shining armor. It's good enough for him, believe me.
No, but I'm just saying, you could look at your mother's body.
Yeah,
It's
of course.
no
Never
big deal.
uptight. My mom never had varicose veins, thank God. That was something that I was not really into.
So you were checking out her legs, too?
Oh, yeah, sure. My mom always had a couple of hair. My mom never shaves her legs, either.
Oh, you're kidding?
No.
I didn't know that.
She always has a few hairs on them, but she's... unbelievably, she has, like, no hair on her body. Except for...
But if she did have lots of hair and it was dark, don't you think she'd do something
I don't know. She thinks shaving the legs is wrong. My poor father.
Not that there's anything wrong with hair. Some men get into that, I suppose.
In Europe, I hear. But I've never met one. Yeah, maybe where it's like cold, like the Antarctic, they get into that. Siberia. I think women in Siberia shave their legs. I think on Pluto maybe it's so cold they can't shave them. Yeah, my mom doesn't believe in shaving the legs.
Uh-huh.
I think she believes in shaving the armpits.
You think?
Yeah.
But you're not sure?
No, yeah, she does. That I'd know.
You don't want to think about that.
Yeah, right.
Is that a religious thing?
But she can't understand women shaving their pubic area.
Right, I know she's
like freaked out by that.
her complets about that on this show.
What is that? You know, like, oh, my poor dad.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's natural. You want to look natural.
Worship the cactus.
Oh, God.
Bloomers probably look like Jiffy Pop.
Oh, stop it. You're terrible. Don't think those things.
I don't want to think about it. I want to be like Fred and not think about it.
But you don't even talk about your mother's underwear, which I don't even...
Yeah, giant underwear.
What do you know about her underwear and why?
She has big panties.
Big panties.
What, did you go into the drawer?
No, but I'd see my mom in her panties and girdle and bra. She'd be walking around. Yeah, she always wore a girdle. All the women of that era wore girdles.
Well, why was she walking around? Was she trying to tempt
She'd be getting dressed. No. She'd be walking around getting dressed for her various functions and stuff. She was never uptight, so she'd walk around.
So she'd keep the door open?
No, but the move was she'd close the door for a second. Excuse me. Get her bra and panties and girdle on, and then open the door.
Open the door
yeah,
again.
I was allowed to see her in her panties and girdle and bra. She was teasing me.
You lucky devil.
There's always that move.
Got to see her in panties and bra.
Excuse me, Howard. I go, Mom, what's the big deal? Excuse me, Howard. And then I would leave. And then 2 seconds later, she'd call me back in. All right, time to come back in.
And it never bothered you to be talking to your mother in her panties and bra?
Panties and bra.
It was the kind of thing you... No, it was very asexual. Never bothered me, no. I don't think she ever bought, like... What is it, Gary?
I just can't believe it because sometimes I swear we had the same life.
Right.
I know I could still see the color of those goofy-looking girdles.
Yeah, big white girdles.
My mom used to do the same thing.
Right.
She put it on, and I was allowed to see her in that state, but no other state.
Yeah, and she'd walk around the house in her girdles and stockings.
No snaps that if they snap,
right.
somebody's eye out.
Yeah. And my mom wore a girdle every day. I mean, like, she wouldn't,
Even just around the house?
Just hanging out, she'd wear a girdle. That's when women did that, right? Your mom too, right?
Every day.
Yeah.
I know because I saw them in the wash.
Right. Big, and those girdles were like...
Well, they're like 2 feet long.
Yeah. and they're bigger than our panties.
And they have these big, disgusting seams on the side that like zigzagged across.
Yeah,
You used to zip your mother up. I used to zip up her dress.
Yeah, that stuff I had to do.
Bulletproof vest.
But the girdles were like incredible.
They always used to crack me up because at one point they didn't have the panty girdle was a big deal when that came out.
Yeah.
First, the girdles were just these big rubber things.
Yeah, they're rubber.
That you slid into.
Yeah.
And then they had those little things for your stockings.
Yeah, little attachments.
The bottom, so that you could hook up the stockings to that. And somehow the stockings
were always
all
ripping.
Work together to keep everything in place.
And my mom's stockings were always ripping. Remember, that was a big issue.
Yeah.
Every day they'd rip. And she'd go out and buy one pair. I'd be like, Mom, get a brain in your head. Buy a carton.
Right, because you're always tearing.
Yeah, right. One pair of stockings.
Fix them with clear nail polish.
Yeah, nail polish, the whole thing, the girdle, and they'd attach to the girdle with the straps and the... It's like, wow.
And then there was a big...
How about losing weight so you don't have to wear a girdle?
No, that never occurred to anybody.
I have runs every day.
But I remember when the panty girdle came out, because they're like, I don't know, the panty girdle. Something between your legs all the time.
Yeah, excellent. Weird stuff. Not a pleasant sight growing up.
No.
That sounds very odd that boys had to go through.
In fact, I think I remember now that you mention it.
No wonder we all hate women.
I'm very surprised that you know this much.
No wonder we want to chop women up.
If I remember correctly, the way it worked in my house was my mother had the big long girdle.
Right.
And then she had pantyhose that went over the girdle. She didn't have the ones that attached. She would wear pantyhose over them.
But pantyhose were recently, I mean, they're not new. They're not old. Rubber. They didn't have pantyhose. All they had were stockings.
Right, poor men.
Maybe I was 15 or 16.
Poor men have to, like, deal with that. Deal with it.
Can you imagine you're going out with a girl and she's wearing all that stuff?
Yeah, all that gear.
Yeah.
Never getting a
How
pants.
do you get anywhere?
I don't know. Did you have any of your mom's friends you used to look at?
No, not my mom's friends, but I remember being in high school and kids would have parties, and there was this one girl who was really cute, And then we go to her house, and her mom was like really, really
Yeah,
cute.
well, I had that. Friends who had cute moms, but my mom's friends I used to check out.
Well, there was one person, actually.
Yeah.
She was really, really, really well endowed. And
she probably wasn't even that good looking.
She was actually sort of, she probably, if I was like 10, she might have been in her middle 30s.
Yeah.
But she seemed like 18 to me.
Right.
She seems a lot younger than your mom.
Yeah. She had a killer body.
Right.
I remember that.
Yeah.
When you're like in junior high or something, if a woman had really big jugs, she rarely made it to her face.
Right. I know. Yeah.
But no, this woman was like she was a friend of mine.
Yeah, I was also kind of, I like my mom's friend, Estelle Hurwitz.
These names.
Yeah, there's another Estelle.
Yeah.
How do you pleasure yourself to the name Estelle?
No, I didn't pleasure myself to these women. I mean, I was too little even, I think. I just dug the way they looked. I used to get excited when my mom would say they were coming over. And then, you know, I mean,
you used to dress up for her?
No, I just show off a little.
You
make sure you were there.
Yeah.
Just want to be around.
I remember I once did something really embarrassing.
What?
My mom's friend was coming over, Estelle Hurwitz, and I thought she was kind of sexy, so hair had just come out. I was older now at this point. And you know that song, Masturbation Can Be Fun?
Yes.
On the Hair album?
Sure.
I sat on the steps and started singing it to her and my mom. Because I knew all the words.
Uh-huh. How'd
Going
that
the
go
holy
over?
orgy, super drama, everyone. I was sitting on the steps singing it. I don't know, they must have been real embarrassed. But I was showing off.
Did they react, or did they just ignore you?
They should have left.
I think they just I don't know what they did. I don't know.
Did you get through the whole song?
Yeah. I was just a goofy kid.
When you did stuff like that, did your mom, like, when Ben got home, did she tell him?
No, nothing like this. Sex wasn't a big thing in my house. Like that, no one embarrassed anybody about sex.
Just said it's not a good idea to sing the masturbation.
No, it was no cool. It was cool. I never got chastised. No, I never mentioned. That's not the kind of thing you want to mention. Just they didn't want to make me uptight.
They didn't.
Yeah.
No, I think that it worked in just the opposite way.
Evidently.
My mom's friend, now that I remember, was a model. She was some sort of a model, because I remember she had headshots.
In Uniondale?
No, she wasn't from Uniondale.
Oh.
She would come and visit us, but she came a lot, and she had headshots. I remember I used to see her headshot laying around the house all the time. You know,
Yeah.
I think she was really hot.
All right, let me take a break here and let's do the news.
It's 10 o'clock.
I know. Do you know where your children are?
It actually is 10:05.
I was asked yesterday by someone in upper management, is there a reason the show goes to 11:30 every day? I said, I swear to you, I don't know what happened. We start talking, and, you know, and I said, Robin spends...
It's 11:30.
And I said, Robin spends a long time preparing the news and everything. I want to do the news. People enjoy that segment of the show, and we just don't pack everything in 10 o'clock. I don't know what happens, and I want to go home. I don't want to be here.
Were they complaining, saying get off the air?
Well, they were saying our ratings would be even higher if we got off the air at 10 o'clock because people could only get us between 6 and 10. It was a whole philosophical meeting.
I think you're diluting the show by...
Yeah, we're being on too long. But I don't know what to do about it. I can't get off.
Well, these problems aren't solved overnight, obviously.
Yeah. Maybe you have to read the news faster, Robin. That's the problem. I said, it's Robin's fault, really.
I
she
read
reads
it very
slow.
fast. It's you and your
All right.
long drawn.
We're going to do the news. I will stop the commentary when we get back, right after this.